Hey parents, welcome to this month's video. I just want to clue you into a couple of the events that are coming up in the near future for us and then talk about some of the issues that are facing our teenagers today. So first things first, this weekend is our annual youth retreat at Windermere. Looking forward to a great weekend with Shane and Shane. And so we have two buses that are leaving. The first one leaves at noon. If your student has signed up for that, they know who they are. They need to be here just a little bit before noon, and we will head out right at noon and get down there to get some things set up. The second bus is going to be completely full, and so if you were signed up on the second bus, you need to be here a little bit before 3. We have to leave at 3 o'clock to make sure you get down there and you get dinner. Dinner starts at 5:30, so it's imperative to be there on time. You'll need to bring bedding and towels for this weekend, as well as any of the other items that you need. But don't forget, we're only going to be gone for one night, so you don't have to overpack. December 7th is our Christmas party at our house. We're going to have a great night of food and fun, play some games, and just kind of hang out. That's from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. December 8th, we're going to be able to come and just serve our younger students. If you're available that day, they have Christmas practice from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to feed them, and we just need some extra hands. And it's a great opportunity for our youth group to serve some of our younger students as they're practicing for the Christmas play. And so make plans to come out and just spend that day kind of helping out with some different things. Don't forget, December 30th is when our mission trip applications are due. You can pick up those applications in youth group on Sunday or Wednesday, and we've had those for the past couple of weeks. And want to make sure everyone gets them, because not everybody has their application yet, but you can look through that and fill it out and get it to us. That's for the mission trip next summer, which the dates are June 23rd through July 1st, again in Aurora, Colorado, with the Turning Point Free Baptist Church. Be in prayer for them this weekend. They're having a Friends and Family Day and expecting great things to happen. So today I just want to talk for just a minute about technology. Recently I saw a stat that 40% of teenagers today have smartphones. I remember my first cell phone was the flip phone, and that is so far removed from where technology is today. We live in a technological age, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it does create a different type of world for you, because as parents, your teenagers are the first ever students who live in an age like this where they have no idea about life without the internet. Everywhere that they go, they have the internet right at their fingertips. It's the first generation who doesn't have to have an adult in order to get information. And so we're living in a different age. And so it creates some difficulty for you guys sometimes, I know. And so I just kind of want to address some of that today. I read a blog by a youth pastor named Jeremy Smith, and it has a few great points about how you guys can kind of engage the culture that your teenagers live in and can parent them with some different principles. It's a whole new world with no precedent established before you. So you're kind of blazing the trail as a Christian parent on how your student should be engaging technology in the culture that we live. And so one of the first things he says is that parents should be looking through their students' cell phones. When you have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of these different social media sites, as well as just the temptations that come with texting and sending photos to other people, there is a great temptation that many of our students are facing today. And so to have that accountability on their cell phones, he points out that as he voices his support of a parent to have the right to look at their child's cell phone, many times it does create a little bit of controversy. And yet when you're upfront with your student at the beginning about the expectations that, yes, I will be checking your cell phone to make sure that you are living a life that you're confessing to live, it definitely raises the bar on them. The second thing is to note that pornography is a real issue for every student today. And you might be thinking, well, no, not my student. And to my knowledge, we don't have any students who have ever expressed that to us. But statistics show that pornography is a real issue for many students today. A large number of people are struggling with that sin, and we cannot expect that our students are not being tempted by any of that they can get so readily available at all times. Some studies have shown that 100% of children are exposed to pornography if they use a computer more than 3 hours a week. And so with it being right there, it doesn't mean, as in the words of Sean McDowell, pornography, it's not an issue where they're going to look for pornography, but it's so readily available that pornography is coming to look for them. And so we have to be aware of that. Have this talk with your students. Let them know your expectations and what should happen in case they stumble upon something, that they need to be ready and able to turn that off. Put necessary software on your computer if need be, and don't assume anything about your student, either that they are or that they aren't. Just have those open and honest conversations. The third thing that he brings up is don't be afraid of technology. We live in this society where technology is readily available, and many times people want to shut that down and say nothing good can come out of technology, and yet that's simply not the case. To shove off all things technology, it would be such a negative approach, but instead know that it's a tool that can be used for your benefit. It can pull your family together. I mean, think about it. If you have a family show that you can sit down and you can watch together, I mean, you're engaging technology, you're spending time as a family, and it might seem as though it's easy to shove off everything, but finding the appropriate way to engage technology, it shouldn't scare us off. Maybe you make a fun family video and post it on YouTube. I don't know if your students would be up for that, but just being open to that and showing them the appropriate way to engage technology is very important. And the final thing is just to communicate your intent with your actions. I know that it kind of becomes cliche with students will ask, well, why do I have to do that? And the answer becomes, because I said so. And it doesn't mean that every single time that you give an answer, you have to give a 3-point sermon as to why you're doing those things. But a lot of times, just opening those lines of communication, telling your students, this is why I want to check with your cell phone regularly. I want to protect you because your spiritual life is more important than anything. I don't think that you should engage that type of media because it's harmful, and just opening those lines of communication and using those as an avenue for a faith talk with your student can squash so many fights and arguments that could creep up. And so just opening up that line and communicating with your student can go a long way. Like I said, this is the first generation to live their life without having a clue what life is like without the internet readily available at their hand. It's on their cell phones. It's everywhere they go. They use it in school. They use it at home. And it's a great tool. I'm always with my iPhone. I've got my iPad right here. I've got my MacBook over here. But to be able to do that appropriately and to know how you're engaging media and technology is absolutely crucial. And so today I just kind of want to talk about those things to make sure that we're on top of it, engaging technology as a family, to engage it with a Christian mindset so our students know how to use it. And so for your closing challenge, next week is Thanksgiving, and I ask you to consider as a family, who are you going to come in contact with? Many of you will probably come in contact with family and friends who do not have a relationship with Christ. And you have the greatest influence on your students to show them what it is to live a life that evangelizes people. You're going to come in contact with people that you know and that you love, and it's a great opportunity to present your faith. Do it in front of your students. Before you go to the dinner, pray with your family so that maybe you guys can engage together and speak with the people that you love, and use that as an opportunity to show them what it is to live a life of mission and on purpose. I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, and as always, thank you for continuing to support our ministry.